Hey everyone, today we're going to be opening up this 30-year-old train set that my brother found while clearing out a really disgusting house. You can see the edge of it is covered in mold, so I'm storing this thing in my shed until today when we're going to be opening it. I'm unboxing it here, and I'll bring the trains in to the house and set them up. I just don't want that moldy mess inside. Yeah, mold is everywhere in the air. You probably have over 100 different types of mold spores already in your house, but I'm not going to take the chance having something growing. Very few mold types are actually dangerous, but when you see black mold, there's always a chance it could be one of the really bad ones. So we're just going to throw the box out. We're not going to try to save it or anything. But it looks like this train set is brand new. It looks like they're still wrapped. It looks like the box may have been opened because it's taped shut in a few spots, but they still look individually wrapped, unless somebody actually took a lot of time to do that. It looks like right here might be a little bit of water damage or something there on those signs. Definitely damage here from, looks like this got wet at one point. And you can see what mold does. It literally just eats right through organic material. It's using the paper as a food source because looks like it was maybe even sitting in a puddle or at least being consistently dripped on. Let's get a good look at the box because this box is going out in the garbage. Engine features: metal chassis, dual power, AC power, 8-wheel drive, operating headlight, operating couplers, 3-position reversing unit. All the different cars it comes with. All right. This thing is from 1992. 1 year limited warranty. Yep, that warranty's definitely done. Some more mold. You can tell where the mold is. It's in hibernation right now because it's freezing. "1992 copyright, the Coca-Cola Company." All right, let's see, how am I gonna open this thing up? Probably right here where they taped it. Look at that, the paper is so compromised by the mold eating it, you can just flake it away. Look at that. No effort at all. Just going right through all that. Okay. Everything in there looks fine. Looks like the mold didn't really get to that. And inside the box, there's a lot of mold you can see right in front of me. Ton of it. Let's throw that box outside. That'll be in the trash. Now let's see what we have. Alright, got some tracks. These are better quality than the newer stuff you see now. Everything's made of metal. The newer tracks are also pretty cool. I've never dealt with a train like this before. I used to have HO train set. Huge display when I was little, but eventually got rid of it. K-line electric trains. This looks like that's been infected by the mold too. Can't even turn the pages in this book. This has been hit by water really bad. Yep, look at that. That's gonna go out too. And the signs, they're all infected with mold too. Paper. Sign's not even in good condition either. Copyright 1987 for the signs. The copyright doesn't mean the year they were made. The copyright can go on a few years ahead because the train set's 1992. All right. There's mold spores all over that too. And this is a different kind of mold than what was outside the box. Got some telephone poles, power poles, the old-fashioned kind. You don't see new ones that look like that. The new ones just have the single piece on the top, and the other utilities are usually just clipped to the pole. Now, these train. I think somebody has definitely played with this before because of the way the box was taped up, just the way the stuff is put in here. I think it's been used. Let's look at the terminals. Yeah, there's some wear on the terminals. That's been plugged in and out of a socket a bunch of times. You can see the scratches. But I don't see any reason why it wouldn't start. Oh, good. Thought I was missing the wire for a minute. Got a bunch of signs. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing set up. Let's bring it inside. You know, I'm starting to think maybe this thing wasn't used before. The prongs definitely have a bunch of scratch marks, like they've been going in and out a few times, but these little wires here, the bag, I had to rip it open. They couldn't have used these wires. If they had used it, they used some other aftermarket wire that they chose to use. And this is low voltage. It really doesn't matter. But when you're wiring something like high voltage, I like to leave a little nip of insulation. Yeah, the purpose of that is it stops the end from fraying. All right, just got to make the connections now. You always want to put the hook on the way it tightens, which is clockwise. All right, time to unbox everything inside. Got some telephone poles we can set up around the landscape. All right. Got some signage, which is completely unopened. Let's see what we got. We got resume speed, westbound, steep grade, high voltage. See the little nubs right there? That's, I guess, for you can nail them down into a permanent train display. Because this is enough track just to play with, or maybe go under a Christmas tree. Because it is a Christmas train, I believe. Cattle crossing, railroad property, keep out. Reduce speed. Yard limit. Junction, 1 mile. Believe that's what that means. 25 miles an hour. Railroad. Restricted speed zone. Opening up the first train. And these trains actually have some weight to them, surprisingly, compared to some of the newer ones I've messed around with. And they do have metal chassis. Yep, we got metal wheels. You see the electrical connection there? I bet lights turn on inside here. That's why the windows are kind of tinted. There's probably lights for at night when you have like a train display. Yep, and I can see they can hook right in here. And I believe these are magnets to help it stay on the track around corners, I guess. Oh no, that might be an electric terminal. I don't believe it is. Yeah, this is electrical here. But I still think that's a magnet, isn't it? No, they're not magnets. I just put it up to a few pieces of metal. I thought maybe those may have been a non-metallic. All right, let's get some more up. I don't want to break it. These are really put in there tight in that styrofoam. All the containers of Coca-Cola, these boxes. Oop. Now this one does not have a metal. This car's pretty light. But still enough for it won't tip over. The plastic is pretty thick back in the 90s before everything became absolute junk. Let's pull out the engine. Now this thing is really heavy. It's got to have at least a good 2 pounds to it. I believe this thing is completely metal. Let's go ahead and get that out. The plastic's really tight. Try not to break off railings or anything. Getting it out. All right. Got metal railings. Yeah, that's a plastic body, but it is a heavy train. Look in there. See how everything works. There's the motor. Yep, it's 8-wheel drive. Everyone moves. Okay, so these wheels here and these wheels here pick up the electricity from the tracks. These ones have a rubber around them just for traction. And there's got a switch in here. We'll see what that switch does later. It might be for the lights. It might play music, because it won't be for the speed. It is a Christmas train, so it might play some kind of annoying music. All right. Got our hopper car here. Coca-Cola. Oh, it opens up. Can this actually be used? Hey, look. It appears it could actually be used if you were really big into trains, dropping a really fine gravel, I guess. All right. One more boxcar. I'm going to save all this, try to put it back in the styrofoam as best as I can later on. Now this one has a metal bottom again. Sadly, it's still made in China, even in the 90s. But their stuff was better quality then, compared to now. All right, let's get this train on the track and start it up. Alright, got the engine hooked up. Goes the box car, which doesn't look like it has anything electrical going on. Alright, coupling took a second to get. Might have to adjust some of the track joints. I didn't put together some of them as best as I should have, because it's going to be hard to pull some of them apart. They're really connected. Yeah, the caboose should probably be at the back, right? These aren't coupling as good as they should. Alright, after like 20 minutes of troubleshooting, I finally got it working. That noise is not coming from the train. That's coming from a clock because it just hit the hour. So the first thing I had to sort out was the electrical issue with the train. This thing wasn't getting a good connection with the track. Then as soon as I was done with that, turned this thing on. You can't go high speed, the train just flips right off the track. But that engine does have a lot of power to it. You can load a few pounds of weight in these cars, it'll pull it around. This car has lights working inside it. The engine has lights working inside it, but it doesn't appear to make any sound. That switch that was underneath the locomotive, all that does is disconnect the electricity so you can have this thing sitting with the lights on, but without it actually moving. And you see the joints here? These joints are supposed to be pushed all the way together. I did a few test runs. It doesn't derail or anything. But this, with all my strength, I cannot get those things in. And if I did, good luck getting it apart. Let's get this thing moving. Alright. Okay, so you turn the knob once, it turns the lights on the front and back, so that kind of eliminates why do you even have the kill switch underneath that. Alright, and you see this one's really bright here. Alright, now you give it, turn it off. Now the second click, it'll start moving forward. Turn it off, a second click it should, or a third click now, it should start backing up. Nope, it's back to lights, now it's backing up. Okay. Oh, we have a little derail, I see. Can I get it around to myself to fix it? That box car has a wheel that's off. There we go. Thing is pretty fun to mess around with. And the automatic coupling does work. It's a little tedious though because it's cheap. It only works at a straightaway, I'll show you here. And the engine got to be moving really fast. So down inside here, see these little tabs. Push down, just release the engine. Now another little tab here opens the box car up. And you see it doesn't work as well as it's supposed to. Just got to make sure again they're open. Okay, that just opened more by pushing it. In here, now, just making sure now with the engine I'm going to bash into it really fast and it should lock. The pressure of this hitting this, it's supposed to click. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's easier to do it by hand, I've noticed. Need speed. Boom. It worked, but I derailed it. That was too fast. Maybe it'll work now without the other cars. Nope. Yeah, you see, they're really tedious. You see, they hit together and they both closed, but they're not together. It's hit or miss. Sometimes it works, sometimes they don't. It's just cheap hitches. So it's better, you see, now that they're both locked, I just go and I lift one over the other. Doesn't really matter. I used to have an HO train set. They connected really good, but these hitches don't work. This train set was probably cheap to begin with. Some children's toy, Coca-Cola special edition thing. Probably back in the 90s. I don't see it going for more than 30 bucks back then, maybe 50 bucks today. Because that's what most train sets like this go for. Most people would just put this under their Christmas tree and leave it running on low. Alright, let's cause a wreck. I can't believe it's going that fast without derailing. It's because the cars have metal bottoms, but we're still not on the max. Let's get more speed. Hey, look at that. It didn't even derail. I did it at the wrong time. Right here, the front wheels of the engine came apart. And as soon as two of the tracks are crossed, that little short sends a signal over to the box, and you hear a contactor go click. And after like 30 seconds, it clicks back, but just the lights are on because you got to reset everything. Okay, we can try this again. It's got to derail fast because if one wheel comes off this contactor safety, it just goes. Now, even with the power up all the way, you put your hands across this, it's not going to zap you. The electricity in this is not dangerous. It's not high voltage. But if your hands are sweaty like mine were earlier, while this thing's live and you're trying to squeeze them apart real tight, yeah, you can feel a little tingle, like any model train set would do. Well, let's try to derail it again. It's not happening this time. I've never actually derailed it more than just the front wheels with the cars. Maybe it's just too heavy with all the cars. Yeah, it's just gonna keep derailing the front. I got it to flip over earlier. Oh, where's it derailed? It doesn't want to take off right now. Oh, it was the safety. It takes a few seconds to reset itself. Whoa. Here we go, all at once. Pretty cool. I've been testing the limits of this little train, and it is really powerful. Right here is a gallon of water. And right here is a cookie tin filled with about 4 pounds of coins. Together, that's almost 13 pounds of weight. And it's able to pull it. Watch this. See that? Very top heavy though. Turns out it wasn't top heavy. It's these tracks. Look at this. Just a little push. See what happens? It's the tracks. that are causing it to tipping over. Hope this video was interesting. Thanks for watching. Uh-oh.